Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over last week's price action, doing a back testing session, seeing where the entries were, where the stop loss placement should have been, and where price went to the take profits. I have unfortunate news for you guys. I failed the combines. I went essentially 6 days back to back to back to back to back to back losses, and I just couldn't catch a winning trade. 2 days into the combine, there was a day where I did have a winning trade idea. I ended up moving my stop loss 4 points above my entry. Price came back to retest. It went right to my stop loss and then went up to TP6. So I feel like that move right there could have kept me in the game much longer. And remember, guys, there's a trailing drawdown. So I went $250 in profit from 50K, and I ended up going down to 48,240. So right under the trailing stop loss. So if this was a live account, I would have only been down $1,750 from an initial $50,000 deposit. But that's just the rules of the combines and the prop firms. If I had this funded account, if these were all funded accounts and I had 6 losing trades, remember guys, once I get funded, I'm going down straight to risking only $100 so that I could have 20 losing trades back to back before I lose the account from my high in the P&L. Now, with that being said, I doubt that would have happened, but because I had this, I have to give you guys some advice, and that's there was 3 days where I moved my break-even stop back to a negative stop loss, in which I lost, which would have kept me. There was 2 days where I fully went back to the $250 stop loss, and then there was 1 day where I went to $150. So that's about 2.5 days that I could have saved from reaching this max drawdown. So I could have still been in the game. And then on this last day, most recent day, I lost $350. That's all I had left to risk. So if I would have just followed the rules with my break-even stop losses, and Friday was technically a break-even day for me as well, but I ended up moving my stop loss. So that's actually 3.5 days. I'd still be well within range of coming back and getting to close to break even or somewhere along those lines in this combine. I am going to reset my accounts, delete them, and I think Top Step now you could reset them and they'll give you another 30 days from the reset, because beforehand, let's say your billing date was on the 1st of every month and you failed, let's just say the combine on the 23rd. If you hit reset, you'd only have 7 days to pass the combine, which is not highly likely. And then they would charge you again on the 1st of the month. So what I'm going to do is just cancel my subscriptions and start whole new combines up and just retake the challenge. I am going to go over, I may not do that today. I may just wait for the month, the end of the week to pass, kind of just trade and demo and get my head back in the game of trading correctly. Now, I do know how to trade, but it's the fact that I kept moving my break-even stop losses back to -1, which kind of hindered me from surviving long enough to come back from a drawdown. Now, there was another 2 days on top of that where I was influenced by the trading group I trade with for trades, and I didn't get in on trades that I would have normally take. You guys know how I like to get in on the sweep of the London high, sweep of the London low, to then go for in that continuation of that direction, right? So with that being said, let's go do a weekly market recap back testing session for last week. Okay, so here we go. This is a 4-hour chart of YM1, and I did a Fibonacci from this low right here to this high, and you can see that it went down to the 50% range, and it's starting to have a reaction right here, guys. There's a reaction, and this was Friday, this is Sunday, and what we're gonna do is just see if there's any gaps where price could react off of, okay? So from this point, I can see that there's a 4-hour gap right here where it could react off of. Normally, we like to try to get in anywhere in this range, as long as it's, you know, right here maybe would be nice. But let's go down to the 1 hour, and I'm gonna do something different, guys. When I'm going from day to day, I'm gonna go to the 1 hour chart just to ensure that and right here, there's a 1 hour gap a little tighter. We can see that 1 hour gap. So what I want to do is just see if there's any gaps here. And I do see this gap right here at the London low. It's kind of small. And I see a gap kind of being created. If this continues to go higher, this will be a gap in this range right here. So I'm just gonna mark it up and see what, you know, what can we find, right? So go to the 30-minute. We're gonna go ahead and go forward a couple of clicks. It is now 8. We can see that it ran through this gap that I thought it would have been a gap, but it wasn't. So there's a gap right here, and then this London high. The London high is right at this gap right here. So coming into the market open, I can see this is a continuation move right here, guys. So you guys can see how it's been bullish. I'm more than likely going to be bullish just based off of my setup called the London continuation move. You know, let's go to the Asian low. So yeah, there's this low right here that I would really like to get in to go long, right at that London low, which was now created right there. So I'm gonna put this right at 930, move this to right there, because that is now the low of London. And I just kind of want to see from this point forward, 50-point stop. You know, we're having an idea right now. Things could still happen prior to the market opening. Put a 1 to 4 right there. Okay, so guys, I'm having a tough time with being a part of a trade group. I'm being influenced, and I realized that when I was trading, and I don't think I'm gonna trade with them for a while until I build some discipline with sticking to my trade idea. So we went up a couple of points. It's now 9:15. If this comes down, guys, at this point, essentially it's already 9:15 pre-market. If it sweeps this London low, you know, I may just want to, you know, have it continue higher. I do see this gap now. It's a 15-minute gap. It did go right into that, but we'll see if it comes down into this range again. Okay, London low, that's my entry to continue going higher. It is now 9:15, so the next, we'll go to the 5-minute, see what happens. It is 9:25, so the next 5-minute candle, guys, is really going to tell us what's going to happen. We're going to stick to our rules, which means if it hits our stop loss down here, we're going to have a -1 for the week, and I'm going to write that down, you know, tally up the ratios for what we're doing our back testing session. And so we're just going to go. Okay, it had a little drop, but then continued up higher, so I think we might have missed this trade. It never swept the London low. There was this move right here in which it was rejecting off that 50%. Yeah, and its price has just not been on my side with my setups the way I trade normally, guys, and it's been just pushing right at the market open. Yeah, so let's just see what happens. How can we, okay, now we know the direction, right? Or it could reject this London high right here, guys. You know, at first it pushed, you know, we got in. We could say we're going to reject this London high now. And if you don't mind taking risk on, you could just say, hey, I'll get in right here. If it broke that London high, you know, with the London highs right there. And what we could do is, you know, I don't really like the fact that it pushed so hard, and then I'm betting against the fact that it's going to keep coming down to continue going lower, right? But we've been bullish. It's rejected the 50%. At this point, guys, trade management, you have to be able to understand and say, hey, this is bullish. Do I wait for the retest to go higher? Or do I look to, you know, it's in this area right here. Do I look to go short, right? So we can do a fib from this low, from that expansion up to this high. And what we can say is if it gets to the, you know, long position, this, you know, 960, we'll go 960, 50 point stop. You know, it could come all the way down and test this 70%. So let's just keep it at a safe spot at that Asian session high, which would have been 949. And we'll trail this going up higher, you know. But let's say there's two trade ideas on the table. There's one going down and one going up. You know, this one could target, you know, the 79%. This would be a nice little 1 to 6 trade, and this one can continue going higher, and we can target the next, you know, big figure level, or have like a, you know, there's this gap here. We could target that gap for the people wanting to kind of like go short here, if that's what it's going to happen, right? So 3.5 and a 6. Let's see what's going to happen. 5-minute chart, you know, it's continuing to go higher. So people who got in right here are kind of getting wrecked. These people who are saying, hey, I'm gonna wait for the price to come down. So what we can do is just kind of keep trailing this and waiting for this to come down. See if it does give us a entry to go long. And it didn't. The entry was right off this London high. So this is unfortunate, guys. Really unfortunate. This person caught a nice 3 to 0.5. You know, if they got in right at that, you know, dip here at 900, you know, that would have been a really good trade for this person, getting essentially a 1 to 5. And let's see where this continues to go for the rest of the day. $200 would have been a good next level to have gone out. So that would have been a 1 to 6. And it's already 11. So I doubt it's going to go any higher for the day. And if it does, that's wild. Okay, so that was a pretty safe spot to get out. You could have held it and it would have gone up to essentially a 1 to 7, right? 1 to 7 right there. Yeah, that would have been a 1 to 7 trade today, guys, or that Monday. Okay, so because price never came back and gave us a retest or never did anything, we have to be able to walk away from a day where price takes off on us and we cannot get a re-entry or find an entry to get in on. Once the volume shows in the first 5-10 minutes, that is the direction of the most probable direction that it's going to continue for the day. Now there could be a spike within minutes and then have it drop, but that did not happen. So this trade we would have missed, and I think I did miss it because I had it at the London low, which was 880 or 882, and price came down to 890. So I missed my entry for Monday by 8 points, which kind of sucked because I saw it keep going up higher and higher and higher. So this is what I mean that price was not, you know, following exactly the rules that we normally trade off of. So Monday was a 0 day for this back testing session. I probably lost on Monday because I wanted to look for the London high to get, you know, ran and go short. And this is the part where my emotions started getting the best of me because I was already in some drawdown. Now, with that being said, let's go to the next day. And we're gonna delete this one and this one. $7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, any gaps, 1 hour gaps. You know, before I do that, let me just do the previous day high, previous day lows. Previous day high was right here. London high so far was created right there. Asian session high was right there. So there's a lot of these highs right here, which price could dip and then come and take those highs out. London low and Asian session low, which was right there. Previous day low. Monday, we'll go to Monday. This is still Monday. So I'm gonna have to really think about how these things. So this is Monday, still going into Monday until about right there. This is Sunday, but then turns to Monday right here. So the Monday's previous day low is right here actually. I didn't really realize that until right now, guys, that Asia goes into from Sunday to Monday. So in these gray areas, we're gonna have to pay attention to make sure that our previous day low, previous day highs are in fact on the right spots. Okay, so we're at a 1 hour time frame here, and I can see a gap right here, okay? Price could come down, and this already got respected, so I'm just gonna delete that one. That was on the higher time frame, and say, well, we could do a fib, and from this low to this high, and it already rejected that 38%. What we could do is retest, you know, that London low and see if it can't give us an entry down here. Now, it is looking bearish already, guys. You can see this, it's already kind of bearish. We'll go down to the 30-minute, and for this day, we may have, you know, because based off what Asia and London are setting up for us, you know, we could have a bearish day. You know, it's a little choppy, it's kind of just ranging, but this move down here to down here created a bearish move. Now, what I want to do is, it is now 8:30. We'll go down to the 15-minute chart. It is 8:45, 9. We'll see what 9 does. 9 is right there, okay? At 9:15, I'll create my trade idea, okay? So it's essentially here, guys, right here. What we could do is say, hey, price could come down, run this London low, you know, to go higher. But if price starts to come up here, it's already showing, you know, a lot of resistance and stuff. You know, it could keep going lower. So what I'm gonna do is say, hey, price, once it gets to this like London high, you know, could use a 50-point stop. To go lower. Now it makes me kind of nervous because this Asian session high is kind of close to it. Now with that being said, let's do a fib from this high to this low and see where the 79% lies. It lies right at that previous day high. So London high, I don't mind actually keeping it there, okay? So this is my trade idea. We'll do a 1 to 6. Get rid of this. It could go down into this area right here, but I'm just gonna take it down to this area right here, mainly because it's close to that 100. I already dropped below the 200 level, so it could reject at any point, start going higher. 44,000's right here. It could go down to that next big figure level. So let's just go ahead and just go down to the 5 minute. It should be in the 95. Yeah, 995, 9:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what we're gonna do is just kind of see what price is gonna do. The trade idea is right here. We have a sell limit order. I'm more bearish than bullish at this point. Even though it's rejected this, we see that it keeps having these pushes down. Okay, so we got activated right here, guys. It is 9:40. We're in at 408. Ran that London high. And what we could do here is do our reward Fibonacci tool. So as soon as it gets down to this 359, we're gonna, which it actually did right here, guys. So because price got in at 38, actually we got in right here, 409, came up, started coming down, got to TP1. We are now break even. Guys, this is the most important part of trading. Nothing's guaranteed with trading. It's all kind of, there's high chances of certain areas having price have a reaction off of it, but price could continue going in a direction, right? So as soon as price gets to whatever you're risking, if you're risking 50 points and price goes in your direction 50 points, you have to move your stop loss to break even and do not touch it. Because if you touch it and move it back to its original spot, price could continue stop you out, and then you have a loss for the day when you could have just been break even. Now, break even is one of the best things in the world because now you're risk free, and all it is upside potential for the trade. Just let it play out. So, you know, not every day has to be a winning day, and not every day has to be a losing day. Some days can be break even, and those are the best days. I have to train myself talking to you guys, saying that to myself, although I already know this, because I still have a bad habit of moving my stop loss back to its original placement and taking a loss for the day. And that's unacceptable with trading. You have to be better than that. You have to understand that the reason why you are not where you want to be or where I want to be is because of the habits that we keep doing on a day-to-day basis. And if I keep moving my stop losses to break up to -1 placement after my trade is already proven to give me 50 points of profit, then I deserve to lose because I am becoming hopeful that the market's gonna keep doing what I want to do. The market doesn't care what anybody wants to do. It's just gonna do what it's gonna do. It's our job to protect ourselves. So right now we are break even. And if this trade goes to break even, it's our job to immediately walk away, okay? Or unless you're confident and you can wait for another setup. But as of right now, we're just taking one trade a day. So what we're gonna do is just kind of continue going forward. And it's proving to be a good trade. We're in at a great spot, London high, right? We're close to TP2. Now this is the part that could hurt because it never tapped TP2. You know, our trade is down here and it could continue to go higher, okay guys? You guys can see this, it could continue to go higher. But what we're doing is saying, hey, we're risk-free. I'm okay with taking a 0 for the day because there's upside potential of walking away with a 6. I'm risking 100 to make 600, okay? Okay, it ran through TP2, it ran through TP4, okay guys? This move right here, TP4, all by 10 o'clock. So 30 minutes before the market opened, there's a high chance that the rest of the day is gonna continue going bearish at this point. just leave your stop loss right here, because you don't want to move it, trail it so hard right now, because it could retrace to at least the 50%, and if it goes higher than that, there's a lower chance that it'll come back down. But what we want to do is say, hey, it could come back, retest this 50% Asian session low to continue going lower, but it might come a little higher. So this level that we're at up here at 409 is, that's still 79%. It may come up to 390, but we're still about 20 points away from getting our stop loss in. And if it goes to break even, it's so what? Because our trade idea is showing that it's going to be bearish, and we are risk free, and that's all upside potential. So what we're going to do is just continue doing this, and it's having its little retracement. What time is it? 10:28, guys. This trade is looking really good. We could technically close the trade out right here for a TP5, right? TP5. Oh no, yeah, TP4. Let's do TP5, TP6. It is in fact at TP5. It went to TP5.5. We could have, had that, but at this point, there's a high chance it's still going to continue going lower. And right now at this point, since it already had its rejection off that London low, what we're going to do is keep a trailing stop loss right at this high, which would be a TP3, at TP3 right here. Or even, maybe right at the Asian session low, which is a TP2, okay? Because this thing could technically come back up and then come down lower. And we got ran TP6. We had kept it at TP3, and we walked away with the TP6 move for the day, guys. Congratulations. Now, this is the trade where the trade group I said would, come down low and then go up higher. So I waited to go in long right here and got stopped out. But the way I trade, which way I'm showing you guys on a day-to-day basis with my weekly sessions, is we got in at the London high. We should have been able to catch this 1 to 6 trade. Monday was break even. That's the importance of not chasing a trade, because if Monday I decided to get in at the London high, would have kept going higher, because remember, the direction's already showing, the volume's already showing, the trend is already showing that a direction right at the market open. We could have gotten really, -1 plus, the 6, we would only be 5 up on the week, but now we're up 6, okay? So this was a great trade. That's the end of Tuesday, so all we have is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Even if we were to take losses back to back to back for the rest of the week, we'd still be up TP3 for the week, which is a winning week. It's a winning model. We just needed one good trade, which we got right here. So what I want to do now is just kind of go forward and just see where price wants to go. Okay, so we're at the 1 minute. We'll go down to the 5 minute. We'll see what happens. It could continue going lower. We got out at what, 109 right here, 109. So we'll just see if this goes lower, and it did significantly. 109. What would 109? 159 would have been right here. That would have been a 1 to 7 trade. We could have had the whole move if we would have held it 50 more points, but 1 to 6 is good. And this thing kept going up and up and up. If you didn't take no profit, you would have gotten wrecked, because look, it came up all the way down and then to fall right here, London low. I think that was like a TP4 right there at the London low. So it was up to us to take something off the table this day, and that was it. So we took majority of the move here, guys. This move right here, trailing it would have been the best bet. As soon as it got to TP5, moving it to TP3, 3.5 would have been the best bet, just in case it came up. You would have walked away with 3.5, 3, or as soon as it got to 5, 5.5, just immediately go down to like 4, 4.5, and then just kind of wait for it to do its thing. But yeah, that was a winning day. That was Tuesday. So what we're gonna do is go to the previous day low, which would have created right there. I'm gonna start moving these for you guys. Asian session low, previous day high. See, previous day high, this is Monday, but Tuesday was right here, which was right there. But yeah, actually it was created right at this high right here. What we're gonna do is continue going higher to the 1 hour chart, okay? Because I want to see if there's any gaps on the 1 hour. Okay, so right here, it did go into this gap right here, and it had a rejection, so we could see that. That's probably the retracement to go long right there. But let's see what the market's gonna do. I don't see any gaps. It's already traded into this gap right here. It could continue going long, but if it continues going lower, could run the previous day low to then go long again. But we don't know, so I don't really see any gaps. I see a gap up here, which it could target if it's bullish. Right there. Okay, so we're gonna go down to the 30-minute and just kind of go forward now. We are on Wednesday. Okay, it is 7. We'll go to 8 o'clock. Okay, so we're gonna do this London high, which was created right there. Previous day high, which was created right there. Asian session high, which was created right there. Asian session low right there, and the London low, which was created right there. Okay, so we have some spots of interest, and we can see that we were bullish off of Asia, and London came down and is holding this area right here. I do now see a 30-minute bullish breaker gap right here. Let's see, if we run this London low, what could, 50 points, I would need like 100 points to actually stay below this. Let's see where the fibs lie. Okay, 50%, that's not even a 30%. 30% would be right there, 313. It's already 8. Well, okay, I'm not gonna do this yet. Let's see, let's go a little closer to the market open. It is 8:15, 9. Okay, I think actually it might run this London low to go higher, but because this right here, this movement right here is proving to be kind of, a retracement for this move right here, it never tapped the 38%. So what I want to do is just say, hey, I'll get in at this London low to go higher. And I think this day I was trying to get in at the London low, but because it was like 1 or 2 points from getting to that London low. So we'll do 330, okay? 330, 50-point stop. And we'll look to target this, a 1 to 4 today, okay? 500, what would 500 be? A 1 to 3.5. We could do this, but if it's bullish, it's gonna probably continue going higher. It's Wednesday. There's that swing high right there. Let's actually make this 1 to 4 because it's right under these wicks right here. So a 1 to 4 would be a good trade for the day. Now we're at the 15-minute chart. We're gonna go down to 5, and what we're gonna do is just let this thing play out now, guys. So it is 8:40, 8:45, 50, 55, 9 o'clock, 9:05, 9:10. Price is already pushing, guys, going into 9:10. So at this point, what we could do is anticipate a retracement to go higher, which, we could trail this and then say, hey, I'm gonna get in at whatever the 79% is, because it created this like double bottom. So we could wait for a little retracement. So it is 9:05, 9:10, 9:15, 9:20. Okay, So this is why, you know, just stick to the rules, right, guys? Stick to the rules. And it is not our time to trade. So 9:25, we have to wait for 9:30. But let's go to the minute and just, you know, 9:29. So this is gonna suck if it doesn't give us a retracement 1 minute prior to the market open, right, guys? So as long as this trade idea is good, the next minute we'll be in this next, you know, area. Our, you know, wouldn't mind taking this trade at, you know, it's so close to 9:30. I probably would just already get into the trade, because at 9:30 it could take off. So right now I'm in. 3:30 was a buy limit order, and what we're gonna do is just kind of see what happens. Okay, you guys can see that it was the London low that we had the buy limit order, and even if I didn't have it set, I would have, as soon as it ran through it, you know, I probably would have gotten in. So let's just say, you know, okay, it ran through it, it's right there, 327. Okay, 327, we're in for the long. And what we want to do is look for a little 1 to 4. If this keeps falling, guys, we have to respect that. You know, if on Top Step X you can set your parameters to take 1 loss a day or have a max loss, so once you lose your 250, whatever you're losing for the day, it'll automatically lock you out for the whole day. So right now I have, let's say I have 250 I'm risking for the day. I have a hard manual lockout for the whole day if I lose 250, which I'm risking 250 right here. Let's say, you know, so as soon as this trade hits, if this trade hits my stop loss, Top Step will lock my account out for the day, which will help me not overtrade or revenge trade, over leverage. I'll just walk away. So because right now we have 0 for Monday, 6 for +6 for Tuesday, and we could have a -1 for the day. But if this trade starts to play out and it goes to TP1, we'll be 0 for the day, and with the potential 1, 2, 3, 4 in profit. So let's just see. We got fucking, oh, excuse my language. We got wrecked right off the bat, right, guys? Like within 1 5-minute candle, we lost. Top Step said, hey, buddy, we locked your account out all day. No revenge trading for you, which is good. I'm not, you know, that's not bad. It's just, wow, I was not anticipating such a drop. Now, with that being said, where could price, you know, go? And we're showing that it's going bearish. So somebody could wait for this retest. You know, let's see what the retest level is. 38%, we'll say. So a little bit higher on a push here, guys. Go to this liquidity zone, the London low, to go short. So this trade idea was runs. What we could do now, I don't want to take more than 1 trade a day, but if I was willing to take 2 trades in the day, this is the trade idea that I would probably walk away with. A little 1 to 3, okay? So I just want to see, it needs to go a little higher up here to go down. Let's see if this trade idea plays out. No retest. Okay, that was the retest right here. Boom. Actually, that could have been like right there. Yeah, it did, you know, but it's one of those days we got locked out. You know, there was no retest, really good retest to go lower. It just kind of fell, and it went to this London low where we knew liquidity lied, right? You know, the Asian session low where liquidity lied. This thing could keep falling too, guys. And it went higher. Wow. Okay, so there was actually a trade right here. You just got to keep being more patient. This low was created, and then it had its 50% range. Could have got in for the 50% retracement to go lower. Look for a little 1 to 3. That would have been a good trade right here for anybody who missed this initial drop, right? So yeah, so that's a break and retest, break, retest, drop again. But at this point, we're just going to continue going forward for the day, guys, because we don't know what's going to happen. And this thing came all the way back up essentially from where it was. Wow, so that's why, you know, having targets is important and taking profit, because if you would have just held this trade for the whole day, you really literally, quite literally would have been break even, which isn't a bad day, right? Right at the end, you could have, people were taking profit like, oh fuck, I mean, excuse my language, up. Oh dang, we're not profitable, just hold it, maybe it'll have another big drop by the end of the day. It's already 12:27. You know, we'll go to the 5-minute, speed this up a little bit, and it really didn't do anything right here. You could have got out one last time at 305. Our entries were at 409. You know, that's essentially a TP2 trade right here, guys. Nothing big at all. This trade would have, you know, been, you know, we got wrecked, but, you know, -1. Let's put that down, -1. But if we really wanted to have waited for that break and retest, we could have gotten a second trade, made a TP3, so we would have been up 2 for the day, but that's not what happened. We're taking 1 trade a day, respecting our rules, learning to analyze our entries, because right now, if you're a beginner trader, you should not be looking for re-entries on the day. Take 1 trade, because you have to learn to manage create a trade plan and stick to it, right? If you start looking for trades, you're gonna see anything that comes up in the market as a re-entry, and that's not what's gonna happen. Backtesting like this is gonna show you, hey, fib, 50% retracement, get in on this and go short, which it did. 1 more push down lower, got us a TP3, and we walked away. Now remember, break and retest aren't gonna give you the full TP6, TP5s, TP7s. It's gonna be a lot less, because it's giving you half of what the move was. So if it was this whole move, 50%, and this was a TP7, the most it's gonna give you is a TP 3.5. So going a little lower, TP3, TP2, TP3 for a day where you caught a bad trade, it's good. Now let's say we got in for the longs and it came up, TP1, 0, and then it came back down, right? This could have been a 0, and then it did this to come back up, and we could have got an entry here to go shorter, right? Because we had a 0 for the day. And this is if you're a little bit more advanced. You had a 0 for your first trade because it went up, TP1, move stops to break even, came down. Okay, well, we know we're in the wrong direction. Wait for the volume to show where it goes. All the way down here, pull a fib, and then say, well, now we're gonna wait for this thing to go up. Once it gets to 50% range, I would never go, even at 38%, I wouldn't take it. 50% is probably your best bet to have the safest entries. So if it would have got to 38 and then continue lower, then so be it, 0 for the day. But this came up to 50%, got in, caught a TP3, would have had a 3, but that's not how this day played out. This is why nothing's guaranteed. All we can do is speculate and know that there's going to be reactions off these liquidity zones and off fib levels, right? And gaps. So what we're going to do is just go forward for the day. We got Wednesday over with. We are now +5 for the week. Could call it a week right now, and just but we have to keep continuing to trade, because with Top Step you have to accumulate 5 winning trades of a minimum $200 profit or more to qualify for a payout. So we're just going to keep going, right? So what I want to do is create the previous day low, which is right here. Asian session low, which we'll find out. Previous day high is up here. And I it's because it is in Wednesday, back right here. If you guys look down here where it says Wednesday 6 August 25, you'll see that between this gray zone, which is Asia session, you'll see Asia goes from Tuesday to Wednesday on the Eastern Standard Time calendar clock, how that works out. So that previous day high is now up there. We can go to 18, and I'm gonna go to the 1 hour chart because I want to see if any 1 hour gaps pop up prior to me skipping ahead, because sometimes it'll mess up. So I don't really see any gaps, guys. I see this one down here where this happened. We see market structure being created, right, guys? What can I do to help pinpoint? I don't really have an idea of what to use, like a cursor or like a okay, I'll use this one, an arrow. Okay guys, so we have this low right here, came up high, so we have a lower low, a lower high from right here, from this structure. It came lower but didn't create a new lower low, so this is a higher low and a higher high, right? Came down, higher low, and all these little structures, it's going up higher. Higher low, higher high from this high. And then we had this break of structure from on the smaller time frame, but it didn't break below this higher low. It created a higher low, and then this higher high was created, which broke this. So now we know that this is a new market structure right here. So we knew that the break of this high right here could come down to make a new higher low before it starts wanting to go up higher. So now at this point, guys, I'm going to be bullish, and we're on Wednesday, so Thursday and Friday, I'm bullish until this low gets broken. If this low gets broken, there's a high chance that it's going to continue going lower. So right now, my bias is bullish, and I just wanted to show you guys that those little swing high, swing lows on those candles right there on the 1 hour chart. So I don't really see any gaps, so let's go to the 30-minute. And I see a gap up here. Okay, I see a gap, which it could target right there. So what I want to do is the previous day high is already set. The London high was right there. Oh no, wait up, we're going into Thursday, okay, right? So we're gonna delete this. Well, we'll keep it up just in case, but we're gonna keep going forward. Right, we're at 3 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna continue going forward. We're at 6:30. Okay, so we can see that the London Asian session high, it might have gone up here to like right here, and then previous day high, London high, you know, we'll keep that right there. Previous day low right there. We'll bring this out to 18. Previous day high was right there. We'll bring this out. Asian session low, Asian session high, London high, London low. London low is right there. So what we can do here, guys, is we can keep going forward. It is 6 o'clock, 6:37, 7:38, 8:39. Okay, 9 o'clock. And we have that high, we have the low. I'm bullish based off this market structure. Remember, we came up, came down, started going up higher. So we have this high. It could continue going higher, or it could create a higher low. So we have this move right here going up. It could come down lower into this, somewhere in this area, to then go higher, but it cannot break these lows. So if I were to go higher, let's say, you know, in this area, where's a 50-point stop? 100-point would probably be best, but keep our stops tight. It is 9 o'clock. We're not really, you know, I don't really want to, you know, this gap got broken. We're gonna delete that. That's nothing now at this point. But we'll go down to the 15-minute chart. We'll see what happens. It is 9:15. We'll go down to the 5-minute chart. It is 9:25. Okay, so from this point, guys, I think what we could do is, if price comes up, sweeps this London high, we could come down lower to then go down into these areas. Remember, market structure, we need to, this thing's either gonna, we get in and it has a reaction to come down to then go higher, or we're gonna get in and it's gonna continue going higher to then come down. And if we get in here, continues higher, stops us out, comes down lower, that's just how it is, right? We're just betting at this point that our idea is gonna win. So depending on what the market does, I'm gonna either get in at right at 6:02, 50-point stop, look to take the London low, right? And or we could take the London low. Oh no. To go higher. To a 1 to 6. I think this is gonna go long. You were gonna go long, right? Or we could just target that London high, 1 to 5, we'll say. No, we'll just go right here, 1 to 5. So this is our ideas, guys. We're going to go to the 1 minute. It is now 9:29. We're going to go ahead and go forward. 9:30. Okay, so we got our reaction right here, guys. But price already started pushing, so this could continue going lower. But at this point, we're going to get in right at, what's this high right here? 600. So we would have had a sell limit order right at the 600 level. You guys can see that it's 600 right there. And we would have got in right at 932, okay? Now this might continue going higher because now we see that the volume is pushing. This could have been the retracement to go higher, right? And if that's the case, you know, then it's runs, right? But if we do a fib, this never tapped TP1, so we could probably tighten this up a little bit, go to like 645. It's not 5 points less, because it's already starting to prove in our direction, right? So let's just keep going. Okay, TP1, we're break even. It's Thursday. See, this is why I don't want to trade with the group I'm trading with, because I have my ideas, guys. Like, I have my ideas. And Thursday, London high, right? You know, let's just kind of continue going in this direction. You know, we're now in risk-free in our trade. One trade is all we have. Our set, we have our parameters set for what's it called, top step to take one trade, and once this trade is done, it's done. But let's see. Oh, there we go, guys. We had a winning trade. TP London low. That was a 1 to, no, damn, could have had at least a 1 to 6, another 1 to 6 trade on this day, this week. So this is why I'm not going to trade with the group I'm trading with, because I have back tested enough to know that it's going to sweep the London highs or sweep the London lows, and it's going to have a reaction, and you're just following market structure, just placing those trades. So this was a 4.5. Okay, and it could keep going down to this Asian session low, which would be a 1 to 7.16. Let's just see if it does. Yeah, oh my god, this was a monster day, guys. The previous day low, ooh, what would that be? A 1 to 9.5. Oh my god, guys. Oh, this was a 1 to 10. Oh, let's see if it keeps going. Is this a 1 to 11? Is this a 1 to 11 trade, guys? We got in right at the optimal trade entry. Let's see. Yes, 1 to 11, guys. We didn't even take half the trade, guys, of the profit. We got out at 4.5 up here, right at the London low. We could have held a little longer. You know, these are 5-minute candles. You know, another 30 minutes, we could have walked away really good for the week. But, you know, let's just take our 4.5 and continue for the day. Now remember, guys, once it breaks this low, I was gonna say it could have a reaction to go higher based off the higher time frames, you know, but as of right now, we're out. We're just gonna see what the rest of the day plays out, Asia, London, and set up for another move. So we're at the 1 hour chart. Just want to see what happens. Okay, let's go down to this low. That's a 1 to 13 day, guys. That was a really great day. We left a lot of money on the table based off the fact that we just didn't hold this trade. Could have at least held it to the Asian session low, which would have been a 1 to 7, which would have been about half the trade, or a little bit lower. You know, oh man, that previous day low would have been really good. Now, remember, guys, I probably went long here because everybody in the group was like, oh, let's go long, but it's gonna sweep that London high or London low, and it's up to us to either accept the loss, accept the break-even trade, or accept the win. And what we have to do is just, you know, trade correctly. So we're up 9.5 for the week here, guys. So this is a really good week on our back testing session. I did take a lot of losses this week because I was being influenced. So with that being said, I'm not going to trade with the trade group I'm a part of, and I'm going to just stick to what I know, because what I know is actually playing out every time I back test. So, so we're just going to go to Friday now and finish up this week. Oh my God. Oh my God. I went too far here. Real time. I'm gonna, okay. I saw that it had to push down and going lower. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I saw that, but we're gonna just continue doing what we normally do. Previous day low, Asian session low, London low, Asian session high, previous day high, London high. Okay. So from here, you know, it is 7 o'clock. We'll go to 30-minute chart. It is 7:30, 8:30. Okay. London high was created right at that London Asian session high, so we'll overlap them. We'll move everything out to the 18. Let's run a little bit more. It's at the 18. Well, I should move this tighter. So I just wanted to tell you guys, like, I did lose the combine. I could have had a really good trading week, but I'm just being influenced with my trade ideas right now. So what I want to do is wait for this Asian session low to get ran, because I see that there is a gap right here. At the 50%, so I would like to get in around the 44,050 level, but let's just keep it a little bit higher, right at that 50%. 44,058, 50-point stop. Remember, it's still kind of early in the day. London high, we could go target at 1 to 4. Okay, it's still kind of early in the day. It is 8:30. We'll go down to the 15-minute chart. It is 8:45, 9. We'll go to the 5-minute chart. It is 9:10, 9:15. Okay, so we have our highs and lows. We have our ideas. And if price comes up to this London high, I'll take a short, but I'll also take a long if it runs that London, this 50% right here. And we'll target that Asian session low. We'll do a 1 to 3 right there. So, little stressed. It is 9:15. We'll go to the 1-minute chart. 9:19, 9:20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Okay, guys, this next candle is 29, and this next candle is going to be the market open. We're going to see some volume, or may not, but we're just going to keep going. Okay, 9:30. We are activated, right? We got activated, that London high. And it's either gonna stop us out, break even, or it's gonna stop us out with the negative loss. It'll come down, come back up, break even, or it's gonna continue going lower. Okay, we had a reaction here. I'm not sure if that was exactly a TP1, but if it is, we have to respect it, guys. because it could continue going higher. We got in at 21. And it didn't get to that TP1, but we're still waiting for it to do its thing. So we're up for the week, guys. Don't crash out. Let's just, okay, TP1 ran through it. We're now break even, guys. We are break even, and technically we could just walk away. We're break even. We can walk away and go for a run, leave your phone at the house, set a hard take profit. If you want to be extra safe, you could set it right at that Asian session low, which would have only been 7 points, 8 points, but we're just gonna lock in a profit there, maybe a little less, right at that 38, 90, 90, we'll go right there, okay, guys? Just to lock it in, because we are up 9.5. So if we could, secure this 0.62 to cover commissions, and that extra 0.5 will be up 10, and plus the 2 will be up 12 TP for the week, or we're going to be break even and we'll still be up 9.5 for the week. Okay, so let's just go ahead and continue. And we got stopped out break even. Look at that. This is why respecting the break even is so important, because Friday is the day I kind of crashed out. I moved it up and it kept moving up, and then I got stopped liquidated for the last $350 that I had. I could have came back Monday and had a great week, but this is the trade that came back to test this level to go long, right? So that's it, guys. -1 or the 0. Respect the break even. So there was 2 break even days we had here, guys. If we would have had -1s for those days, we would have been up 7.5 for the week, right? Instead of 9.5 with those 2 break-even days being -1s. So we were able to preserve, if we're a TP2 essentially. So this is why it's important, guys, to follow your own rules, follow your own trade ideas, stick to what stick to what backtesting sessions. As soon as the break-even trades, just walk away, go for a run, because you can start moving things around and you don't really want to do that, right? So that one 4.5 day ended up turning into a TP13, guys. That's crazy. But yeah, for the week we did really good. And what I want to do is just ask you guys if you can subscribe, like, comment. I'm going to come back next week and be more disciplined than ever. After this backtesting session, I've decided that I'm going to redo the challenges, the combines, rebuy them, some new ones, and just trade on my own this week. I'm not going to have Telegram up with the trade group that I'm a part of. What I'm going to do is just have my trading view up and Top Step X up, and just trade the way I know how to trade. If you follow me on Instagram, I'll post my trades ideas, trades live, sell limit order, buy limit orders. And this week I'm looking to just, trade great. I want to trade great. So let's say I was wanting to pass the combine this week. Let's say this is a new combine. I'm up 9.5. I'm risking, 250 a trade. So 250 TP8 would have been 2,250 plus 125. This would have been a $2,375 week right here, guys. $2,375 week. Crazy, guys. And if I would have just let that runner run on that one day where I got 4.5, I would have got a 6. I still wouldn't have passed, but I would have been at $2,750. All I would have needed for this week was another $250 going into next week to pass the challenge. So just follow the rules, follow your trading plan, and just execute. Don't let others influence you, because they could be going through a bad trading period in their time, and then just not trading correctly and following their trades is not gonna help you long term. So please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll post another video for you guys later.